Welcome. I'm Eric Young, CEO of Northeastern REMC. And on behalf of your board of directors and employees, I would like to thank you for joining us on our 2020 virtual annual meeting. We sure miss seeing all of you in person, but the health and safety of our employees and members is most important as we continue to navigate this ongoing pandemic. Joining me tonight is Tom Western, Chairman of your Board of Directors, and Jim Eitzert, VP of Distribution Services. Tom will be presiding over the business portion of the meeting, and Jim will join me later in answering your questions that were submitted prior to the meeting. If you have not already done so, we encourage you to cast your vote for the 2020 Board of Directors election by visiting NREMC.com and clicking the Vote Now button. Voting ends at 6:15 p.m. tonight. You can also view the candidates' bios online prior to voting. These were mailed to you with your ballot and emailed to you as well. We'll count up the votes and be able to announce the newly elected board members on Monday on our Facebook page and our website. We usually read the bios during this meeting, but since you've been able to view those already, we will skip right to Tom Western, who will now preside over the meeting.
Thank you, Eric, and good evening. I'm Tom Western, the chair of your Northeastern REMC Board of Directors. This meeting is officially called to order. Mr. Secretary, are there sufficient members present or who have cast votes to declare a quorum?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, there is a quorum.
I then declare this a legal meeting of Northeastern REMC. The bylaws state that all meetings of members are governed by Robert's Rules of Order when inconsistent with the bylaws. Your board has appointed Mr. Jeff Gegline, partner in the law firm of Shambaugh, Cass, Beck, and Williams, as parliamentarian for this evening. He is present here tonight off camera. The minutes of last annual meeting were sent along with the invitation to this virtual meeting and have been posted on our website at NREMC.com. Are there any questions, corrections, or additions? If not, I will entertain a motion to accept the minutes as published.
I move to accept the minutes as published.
Do I have a second?
Yes, I second the motion.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
The minutes are approved. Eric will now provide a brief business and financial update.
Thank you, Tom. The focus of this meeting is really 2019. But given the situation we find ourselves in, we will not ignore the first half of 2020 either. Before we jump into what your cooperative did last year, I'll give you a few stats that many of you may not be familiar with. Your cooperative serves over 31,000 accounts and maintains over 2,300 miles of power lines in our 600 square mile, 6-county service area, making us one of the largest electric cooperatives in the state. And we continue to grow year after year. In 2019, we added 534 new accounts for a 1.6% growth rate, which is still over twice the average cooperative nationally. And 2020 is shaping up to be yet another big year. In just the first 6 months, we have already added over 400 new residences and small businesses. 2019 financials can be found in your most recent edition of the Lightpost. But to summarize, your cooperative had a very positive financial year. Energy sales were solid, power cost increases were reasonable, and expenses were well controlled. This resulted in bottom line margins of $3.6 million. Over $10 million of new investments and maintenance went into your system, all driven to maintain our industry-leading reliability. Now, as many of you know, 2019 proved to be a challenging year of inclement weather, causing our actual outage performance to slip from the top 10% of cooperatives nationally. Although we slipped out of the top 10%, we are still well above average in terms of outage restoration times. And rest assured, we remain focused on continuous improvement in this area and committed to doing everything in our power to reclaim that distinction. 2019 saw a continued commitment to giving back to the community we serve. This is one of the 7 guiding cooperative principles and one that we take very seriously at Northeastern. We took part in the United Way's Day of Caring by building raised garden beds for the Whitley County Council on Aging. Our employees worked on the baseball field in Larwell, applying a fresh coat of paint on dugouts, replacing lights, and making long overdue repairs on the batting cages during the National Cooperative Day of Caring. Several more of your employees and one ambitious director took part in a Habitat for Humanity Build Day in 2019 as well. This was a special event for us, added in honor of our departed director, Jane Scott, who was very close to the Habitat organization. This is another organization we intend to continue working with for years to come. We donate our time and resources to help programs and services make an impact and enrich our communities. Here you can see several of the community organizations that we are proud to support and partner with to keep our communities strong. Another of our principles we take very seriously is that of cooperatives helping other cooperatives. So when crews and equipment were needed in Florida to assist in recovery efforts after Hurricane Dorian, we responded immediately. The storm caused widespread property and infrastructure damage throughout Florida and the southeastern part of the country. And some of your co-ops employees were there, working side by side with others from cooperatives across the country to help the people of those devastated communities. It's always nice to know that when needed, our cooperative brothers and sisters show up for each other. It's comforting to know that if we need help, they will always be there. It's about as close to family as one could expect. Another of our guiding principles, and one of the most important, democratic member control, is central to the cooperative model. One of the most important ways you can be involved and participate as a member of the cooperative is by voting for your board of directors representatives each year. This pandemic may have forced us to change some aspects of the voting process, but democratic control is still alive and well at Northeastern, as you have made this the greatest year of voter participation in the history of the cooperative. Which reminds me, we try to encourage voter participation every year, and this one is no different. This year, we offered an opportunity to win a $100 bill credit for casting your vote, and I am very pleased to announce that Ruth Bryant has won the drawing for the bill credit. Congratulations, Ruth. That bill credit will be on your next bill. When it comes to dealing with the pandemic, your cooperative has responded in a big way. We've gone to great lengths to protect our employees because not only is it simply the right thing to do, but at the end of the day, we have to be here to keep the lights on when you need us, not when it's convenient. We have a duty to be on call 24/7 and show up when you need us. I want to tell you all how very proud I am of your cooperative's employees. They have remained flexible through very trying times, with changing guidance from our health officials as well as state and local agencies. None of this has been easy. We all want things back to normal. We want to be able to see you face to face, shake hands, and go about the normal business of providing you a valuable service. But it may be a bit longer before we can do that again. I can confidently say that because of a wonderfully flexible workforce and the technological investments made by your cooperative, we really haven't missed a beat and continue to function as well as we did before the word pandemic was something on everyone's mind. We should all be immensely proud of this fact. Lastly, your board of directors has been focused on doing the right things for the membership from the outset of the pandemic. We immediately put in place a moratorium on disconnects, well before this was mandated by the state. At the request of several generous members, we started Northeastern Neighbor Aid, a member assistance fund to help pay down the bills of those affected by the pandemic. Through your generosity, we were able to coordinate assistance for over 500 members at a time when it was needed most. I personally want to thank all of you who gave to this worthy cause. Speaking of stepping up, as soon as we saw the unemployment numbers climb so rapidly, your board saw the need for immediate financial assistance. This is why they held a special board meeting in late March to approve a refund of $1.2 million in capital credits. This refund appeared on most members' April bill. Normally this would not arrive until December. However, the need for timely relief was clear, and they took decisive action. This patronage capital retirement was applied in the form of a bill credit to further reduce the time necessary to get these funds into your hands. At a time when the whole country was hurting, your cooperative was out front, leading, and focused on doing everything possible to provide a helping hand to ensure that we would be here to provide you service that is second to none. Since this meeting is virtual, and for the safety of everyone, we could not allow the general membership to be together, it was still very important to us that you had an opportunity to have your voices heard and your questions answered here tonight. To that end, we encouraged you all to submit your questions to us ahead of time, and we were thrilled with the level of response that we received. Keep in mind that because of the time allotted, or if your question was specific to your account, your question may not be answered live tonight, but instead, one of our employees will follow up with you directly if they have not already. Now to the questions.
Thank you, Eric. Question 1 is for Jim and comes to us from Dan. He asks, can someone review the solar panel program? Has this provided meaningful savings to Northeastern REMC, and will Northeastern recover the cost?
Good question, Dan. Northeastern currently offers a community solar program where a member can purchase the energy output of solar panels installed here at our headquarters in Columbia City. For members interested in solar energy, this eliminates the inconvenience of installing panels on their property and saves them a large upfront expense. Regarding the financials, this program is similar to many other utility investments in that the payback period is typically very long. In this instance, we are projecting payback in approximately 20 years. Please give us a call or an email if you're interested in this program.
Thank you, Jim. Question 2 now is for Eric. We've had quite a few members that were curious about the impact of rush hour rewards and what it's brought to Northeastern REMC. They've had several questions, so would you mind giving us an overview of the program and how the members and Northeastern benefit from it?
Absolutely. I can't tell you how happy I am to receive questions about our Rush Hour Rewards program. This program has been simultaneously very successful and very frustrating. For those that are not aware, Rush Hour Rewards is a program that allows cooperative members to install a Nest thermostat in their home and for the cooperative to dial back that thermostat a few times a year in order to reduce load on peak days. You see, we not only pay for the energy that everyone consumes, but for the ability to deliver that energy to our system and ensure that sufficient generating resources are available when needed. It is this second part that Rush Hour Rewards helps the cooperative address. In very rough numbers, for every dollar you send to the cooperative, 75 cents are used to cover the cost of power. Of that 75 cents, nearly 25 cents is used to cover these peak-related costs, fully 1/3 of our power costs. To bring this home, next year we expect to pay approximately $20 million for these peak-related costs. If we divide that across every member, that is just over $600 per year, and all of it is attributable to usage at peak. Approximately half of these costs show up on your bill as PJM costs. These costs are unavoidable, and with the exception of peak reductions, are largely out of our control and market-driven. Homes account for the majority of this peak load, and the Rush Hour Rewards program cuts this load by between 40 and 50% for 3 to 4 hours. On an individual basis, this program is highly successful and provides the cooperative value well beyond the $50 annual credit for participation and the initial incentives after just 1 to 2 years. The major frustration has been our inability to scale out the program. This year, we were able to greatly increase the number of participants, but this is still just over 700 members out of nearly 30,000. This is despite heavy marketing and incentives for participation. We are looking to expand the program to additional thermostat types over the next few years in hopes of greatly increasing this number. This is just one program we have that is intended to address these peak-related costs. Your cooperative is absolutely focused on addressing these costs in any way that we can, and I thank you for asking about it.
Thank you, Eric, for that thoughtful answer. The next question goes to Jim and comes to us from Robert. He asks, does Northeastern REMC do energy audits in residential homes?
Thanks for the question, Robert. Recently, Northeastern has stopped offering in-home energy audits for 2 primary reasons. First, the demand for the service has fallen off. We only completed 71 energy audits in 2019, and it simply doesn't make sense to ask the membership to continue supporting the expense of a program that reaches so few of you. The other reason is COVID. Obviously, we do not want to expose our members or employees to any unnecessary risk.
Thank you, Jim. We have one more question. The final one here will be for Eric, and it comes to us from Sally. Sally asks, what, if anything, is being done about broadband internet?
That's an excellent question, Sally. High-speed internet is something that our board continues to explore and is a topic of discussion every month at board meetings. We are currently in the process of a feasibility study, among other research projects, as well as seeking out partnerships for broadband. We know this is a hot topic in the community and that there is certainly need in this area. Our board is exploring every option.
Thank you, Eric. The question and answer portion of the meeting is now complete. And with that, we'll turn the meeting back over to the board chair. Tom?
Thank you. From myself and the rest of the board of directors, we sincerely appreciate your work and the work of the employees to maintain the outstanding service to our members through this extremely trying time. Is there any other business to properly come before this meeting? If not, I declare this meeting adjourned. Thank you.